Hey guys, Megaton Menace here, back with another video. Once again joined by my friend Asir. And today we're going to be watching and reacting to RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 8, which is called Dark. They're definitely sticking to the whole every episode title is just one word thing for the entire season at this point, I think, because that's been the case for every single one. And, yeah, so obviously they're in the middle of, having Atlas get attacked, so that's going to be a big focus of this episode, unless there's some weird shit. Also, the thumbnail is Willow, so I guess Schnee Manor will be a prime location. And, I feel like that's basically it.
Yeah, I'm kind of. It's hard to remember because of the break they took exactly where we jumped off.
Yeah, because the actual cliffhanger I think was like Penny landing in front of the mansion, but she's like passed out, so they probably won't follow up on that this episode, and if they do, it'll probably be like the cliffhanger at the end. But yeah. So I guess it's a much shorter intro than normal, but I guess we'll probably just dive right in.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people were speculating that they would change the intro for the second half just because of how much of the stuff in it had happened, but I'm like, nah, they won't, just because that's not the RWBY meta, and also because the 7-8 week delay was because of COVID, not because of Rooster Teeth's plans.
Mm-hmm. No, and in addition to that, I do think that a lot of work goes into...
Definitely.
Like, I don't know how much harder this style of animation is than the actual animation of the show. Obviously, it's the same platform.
But it definitely takes time and effort to make the intro.
Yeah, because the visuals are on a whole new level
and
than the show usually is.
And the same is true for the character trailers. Like, there's a reason why we don't get a new set of character trailers every season.
Yeah.
And I know that in the past they've talked about how much work the character trailers are relative to making the show, but I don't remember the details of how much easier or harder they said it was, and therefore I don't want to put words in their mouth, so I'm not going to pretend to know.
Yeah, well, there are just so many effects that they're using in the intro because it's what's the word for it? It's not real. It's surreal. The visuals are surreal. And so there's a lot of techniques that they're using in this that are just not relative when making the show.
And yeah, like there's a lot of visuals that are in the intro that aren't going to be reused in the actual episode. Original assets for the intro. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, that's too much black screen.
Lots of black screen. Decent place to start.
Yeah.
Because this is something they didn't really touch on much.
Yeah.
Sounds bad out there.
They did put out a 1-minute teaser trailer that only had like 20 seconds of new footage, and that showed someone blasting through the wall to free them, and then it showed a Grim spitting acid and Penny with red eyes. Oh. That might have been a friendly explosion, because that was like a raven-looking bird, and it didn't appear to be a Grim. More black screen. It's one of those episodes. It makes me glad that we aren't using like my basic bitch camera, because then it would be like every time there's black screen, you see our reflection. Okay.
She lost consciousness, and she's...
It's like Nora's awake, but that doesn't mean that she's ready to fight.
Set her down.
Now you have two patients.
But at least Nora is stable.
Is one of his personalities an engineer?
I hardly know what she is. But her basic anatomy seems similar enough. I can at least stitch up that wound.
Okay. It's convenient, but I was expecting it. That even though she's a beat booper, his doctor skills would be able to help.
Everyone okay back there? Just saw another bombing run light up the kingdom.
Looks like part of the city lost power. We're okay, though.
You should probably do something before it becomes like like Volume 3, Chapter 10's cold opening.
Don't beat yourself up, kid.
Damn!
At this point, I don't know how much is left to be done.
Everybody's lost hope.
Yeah.
Too much.
I mean, this is kind of the consequences of how you guys acted in the last act.
Yeah. In, like, Volume 7, basically. And, yeah. And to an extent, early 8.
You can't worry about fixing everything. Simply focus on what's in front of you.
Yep.
If you'd like some place to start, I'd be able to work faster if you could bring the power back on.
Well, how
Okay.
do
We have a generator near the edge of the estate.
So zap it.
So kind of you to join us, Mother.
Now's not the time to give people shit.
Believe it or not, I am above drinking in the dark. Oh. Hello, Klein.
Awkward.
Yeah, but it's also true that, like, she's not the one who fired him, so just a little.
It's extremely unfair. But perhaps now isn't such a bad time for company perks.
We don't just have perks. We have the company.
Yeah.
People you mentioned in the crater. They need a way out, right?
Yeah.
Rows and rows of cargo ships just sitting in a hangar.
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
what's up, bud?
And our own automated
Good. He's like, I'm in the intro for a reason, and it's a non-feedy reason.
Safety while we're occupied with the
Nice.
General's
I'm
forces.
with it.
We can.
Agreed.
I can. I just need Father's computer.
Okay.
And we definitely need to get the power back on.
Yeah.
Sweet. Here we go, Schnee Manor team.
Yep. Blake and Ruby?
Definitely.
Definitely, yeah. I'm like, that's definitely Blake, and yeah. Because gotta make sure that our sneaky ninja character wears a color that makes her easy to see.
Don't worry. It'll work.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, man.
Nothing
Ninjas
else
wear
does.
orange, baby.
Ninjas do in fact wear orange.
You don't always know what to do, but that's never stopped you from doing something.
Even if it's the wrong
I
thing half the
originally thought
time.
As a girl, but time and a lot of other things took their toll on me.
Mm-hmm.
And that I wasn't sure if that kind of girl could actually survive in the world
Now, jaded as fuck.
until I met you.
Yeah.
It was a little strange at first because you were younger, but I've always looked up to you, Ruby,
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that.
and I still do.
Good.
Thanks, Blake.
Stop shipping them! Not the writers, the viewers. I know you're doing it. Stop.
What?
Oh. Time to fight.
What was that?
That was like a grin in the mirror?
It outside the window of the house.
Ruby! Blake!
Weiss, there's a grim that. Look out!
Can you handle this?
Assuming you can handle that.
Okay.
You still need to work on your attitude.
He was just joking. It's okay.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, an ally is better than
Yeah.
an adversary.
Yeah. And I think that this is the Hound again. The one that took Oscar before.
What is this thing?
It's just a grim.
Is it though?
Just focus.
You literally
Yeah.
were just saying something about how it was different before the phone call.
Yeah. But I think what she means is it's a Grim. The Silver Eyes will work. Yeah, he's talking. It's.
Talking.
Yeah. Yeah, because Hound talked when he took Oscar.
Climb!
So this thing's gotta be a really loyal
Yeah.
piece
And
to Salem.
and I don't remember what episode it was, but they did also establish that it was a new creation. Because for a while we were like, is this powerful new tech or powerful old tech? But it is. Okay, that was quick.
Can't do this. I can't do this.
Willow, please come back. Goodness, try not to.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, yes, I'm hacked and my body's under control, but this is an anime, so power of friendship could triumph, and I have a soul, so it might not be as simple.
Right?
Because she's definitely fighting it.
Yeah, the soul is where she stands a chance.
Yeah, it's here for her. Because they need her to get the staff of creation.
That fall depleted her aura fully, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's the one that was spitting acid. So everything all the new footage in the trailer was in this one episode. Which is good.
Yeah, usually that's how they should do that.
Yeah.
When they're...
Nora.
No one's gonna make you do anything you don't want to do. But there is a part of me. It's making me. It's just a part of you.
The power of friendship.
Don't forget about it.
Or they're being mean and baiting us.
I think that it's a problem that they're establishing now that is absolutely going to resurface.
Because as long as the code is in there, there's danger.
Exactly.
They need to find a way to get it out. The code.
Best case scenario, Salem uses Penny, override it to get the relic, and then we get Penny back.
Yeah. But if that happens, Atlas falls out of the sky. So even that's not that good. Even that's a pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, but how is this arc not going to be The Empire Strikes Back?
I don't know.
Like,
it's one of those things. Like, it probably will be, but until it happens, they could avoid it. Ouch.
Is she watching the security cam?
Yeah, I think so. Because they did establish that there was cams a volume or two ago.
Yeah.
Mom? I can see it.
Yeah.
It's outside Winter's old room. You can kill it, can't you?
Alone, probably not.
I'm
Like,
not sure. It's acting strange.
John, Yang, Oscar,
Why is it here?
Ren fought that together and couldn't take it
Keep an
down.
eye on it so I can track it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
However, it is also true that it's fighting the protagonists now. And not, like, the B characters.
What sucks is that if Yang was here, then Team RWBY by power combined.
Right, because Yang's the only member of Team RWBY that's not here.
Right.
Oh boy.
That's like the least capable person of dealing with it.
Yeah. I mean, we know he's not combat trained, but he might have a semblance. I'm not saying that he could beat it, but he might be able to get out on his own.
Right.
Also, Penny's blood is on his outfit, so why can't it just smell him? Because that's how it was tracking Penny. Yeah. Ooh. Good job, Willow. Because she's got the same semblance as Weiss and Winter.
Nice.
So she just summoned the Barbatusque and Boosh.
Nice. Yeah. That's
Yeah, see,
honestly, that's good on both.
Exactly,
because that was a strong scene
because Willow's in the category of, like, she's not military trained, but she does have an OP semblance.
Right.
Go!
And Whitley ultimately did the thing.
Yeah. Oh, she's summoning some shit.
Why did it get more disgusting?
I don't know if you can hear me. But I need you, RWBY. We all need you.
Yeah. You've got the MacGuffin powers. I mean, oh, nice. I was literally just thinking you could use a shadow clone, though, while you're dodging. choppy, choppy.
I'm a...
I could hear you.
You're a what?
Hear Blake
Oh, yeah.
asking for help.
Yeah. But now they can both help Weiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the beginning. Assuming direct control. Yep.
Well,
honestly, though, the fact that it's happening now is better than it happening later.
in terms of her chances of getting
Exactly.
out.
Like, just
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
I don't know if that would do it. Yeah.
MacGuffa stuff. MacGuffa stuff.
Yeah, basically. But it's also...
Better that it happened than it didn't.
And also, even though it is a MacGuffin / a plot device, because it's an established power...
Yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
it is... Everyone thought it was him. And I guess they were right. Maybe it's not him.
Is that Adam?
It's definitely a person, but I think so. It's weird, I don't see the scar, but it is orange hair.
That's definitely something you can find out with
Yeah.
better animation, or like with just pausing.
Yeah.
And like watching that at a slower speed on a rewatch.
It's definitely a human.
Definitely.
But Adam's corpse, maybe not. It's hard to... If it isn't Adam, it's a person we've never seen before.
What was that?
Blake would recognize him.
Yeah.
A person.
I guess it wasn't him, because if it was, they would probably have Blake be like, shit. And also because they beat him. Like, if they were going to reveal that was Adam, they would have had him get away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's my turn to ask for something.
Crow, Robin, Jacques, they were in the same room. Where are they?
Yeah. Nobody's talking about it.
Whoosh.
Whoosh.
That's yeah. I was like, that's probably it. The thing is, though, they weren't there, so I guess somehow she blasted through the wall, then they all ran off, and then she came through the hole?
I don't know.
It's definitely weird that they weren't there.
Yeah.
I always have to assume that they'll explain in an episode or two, I guess.
Probably.
Cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like that was a pretty strong episode, and it definitely is moving the plot forward. But it's also,
It was a Faunus, but it's definitely not. Adam. It
yeah,
doesn't have a
Ruby
sword.
character TR Faunus ears. Yeah, so it's not Adam, but it is a Faunus person. Cool. So yeah, I feel like that was a pretty strong episode, and that it did move the plot forward. But and yeah, it's like it's cool if there was action, but it also, I don't like the fact that we're not seeing the Battle of Atlas. Like it's weird that like because like they did establish that it's happening because we saw like that one Grim like chop that airship in half, but it does feel weird that it's just happening off screen. Now that'll be rectified if they give us some of it later, which they might, because we do know that like John's squad is gonna is gonna build that bomb. The science team's building that bomb, and they're gonna take it inside the whale. And so maybe because I do think it's gonna be like everything's happening at once. So it might be while this shit that we just saw is happening, the shit with taking the bomb to the whale is also happening, and that it might just be patience, because like maybe the next 3 episodes will be like John's perspective, Ironwood's perspective, Crow's perspective, rah.
Right. No, I think that probably is the case.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, and hopefully here pretty soon we're gonna figure out what happened to the other prisoners.
Yeah,
that were in those cells.
Because
it's definitely important.
Exactly, and like because of the fact that like there's a bunch of things going on at once, and they're switching perspective, and because of that, they usually haven't this volume had characters outside of Team RWBY be in consecutive back-to-back episodes. It'll probably be something like next episode focuses on the science team finishing the bomb and taking it to the whale, and then the episode after that is like what happened with Crow and Robin and Jock and something else with Ironwood, and then we go back to like Team RWBY and Penny and like something like that.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna bounce around.
But it'll probably be 2 episodes before we see what's next for like Crow specifically. But that's okay because there's a lot going on. As long as we get it relatively promptly. Mm-hmm. So let's see, anything else? And it's hard because like the fact that Penny was able to resist the hack to an extent, I do think is a good sign, because even though right now she seems to basically be fully under control, because there was a phase where she was hacked and was herself, the fact that now she's hacked and she's not herself doesn't mean she couldn't flip-flop again.
That being said, the hackers are the ones that got the buff this episode.
Yeah.
Because Watts, like, if what we saw all happened simultaneously, then Watts was not behind the hack. It was his software acting independently.
Yeah.
And therefore his software is going to be more powerful with him.
Remember, though, because in a couple episodes ago, Watts got Penny's sword and hacked into it to take control of her while she was fighting Cinder and Amity, and then went back to jail. And it's that remote hack that was done then kicking in, because he's like Penny, because he like basically wrote a code that said to get the staff, and then went back into jail. So I think that it's like she's just carrying out the previous command that was implemented already. It is interesting, though, because it's one of those things where technically, like, yes, we do know that the bad guys wanted Ironwood to have Watts hack Penny, but it was technically under, because when Penny was going, because the Hound took Penny by force to get the staff, even though Penny has been hacked to get the staff.
I understand what you're saying. I guess ultimately, I don't know if you caught my larger point, which is Watts' software, unless he's doing all of that from his jail cell, is acting independently.
Yes, yeah. I agree with.
And Watts' software is going to be more powerful with Watts free.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and I think what I'm saying is you're right, and I agree that Penny is being controlled by Watts' software, but I think that I don't think that he has the ability to hack and manipulate Penny again right now, because I think he would have to like re-get his hands on her sword or something.
I see. I don't agree with that, because I think of once you're through the door, it's harder to get something out that's already established.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that much about software and viruses and invasive software, but I would imagine that it's much like the Trojan horse, like once it's in the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could be wrong. But there's more to talk about. We can talk about Willow and Whitley.
Yeah, it's it's good to see because they both progressed in the right direction in this episode because Willow's like, no, rather than just being drunk, I do have the ability to help and fight, so let's do that and not just let my kids get killed. And
good choice.
Yeah. And then Whitley's also like, he's realized, like, he idolized Jock. He realized that Jock wasn't who he thought. And now he's basically like, what if I wasn't a piece of shit and I actually used our resources to help? And that's also good.
And he's also showing his intelligence. Like,
yeah.
He ultimately was able to do whatever he needed to do programming wise.
Exactly.
To get Jock's access.
And it's good. Hopefully using all of those Schnee shipping trucks to actually get people out of Atlas hopefully that'll actually happen and not get like stopped by something. Cause of course Grimm can cause a lot of fuckery with something like that. And it's because Grimm are everywhere, even trucks that are meant to just like move something from A to B probably do have like guns on them. So they might not be completely defenseless.
Right.
But
although they're not like probably like tank military.
Exactly.
Like they're not made for combat, but they might not be shy to it either.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I definitely had something else to say, but I've lost it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that happens. And Robin, I mean, until the show proves otherwise, I guess that I'm just gonna activate under the assumption that Crow and Robin escaped from prison, and that therefore, I guess probably, like Crow would probably be going after Ironwood because he does seem to be holding a vendetta against him. And Robin would probably just return to the Happy Huntresses, who I totally forgot about until just now because they've kind of been off screen and they haven't really mattered yet this volume because even though technically like Yang and John's group is working with them, they've also kind of been separate and they haven't really met. But now if Robin's out of jail, their group could maybe do something. And also in addition to that, if reinforcements do show up because of that message that Team RWBY sent out that notified like Team Sun and a bunch of other people, that could easily happen in like 2 or 3 more episodes, depending on how much time they want to spend on like the actual final fight. And who knows that much that might turn the tide or not turn the tide.
And I have a strong feeling that what we're going to be seeing is kind of what you predicted. They're going to use the Schnee resources to save as much of Mantle as possible. I think that's going to be the outcome.
Yeah.
I think that actually does make a lot of sense contextually with everything that's going on. They're going to try and get at Salem. They're going to fail. It's hard to speak to Penny's fate, but I do think that Salem's going to end with the relic, and I do think that Atlas might fall, and I do think that the Schnee resources are going to save as many people in both Atlas and Mantle as possible.
Yeah, that actually does add up.
Yeah.
It's true because like predicting the long-term fate of Penny at this point definitely is hard, but it does seem likely that Salem will get the staff, and that would result in Atlas falling, but a lot of people will get saved from Mantle, and that will probably lead to the final stand against Salem happening in Vacuo. And of course, something else that's still also on the field is that the whole potential of because I think it was just in the very last episode, both like Hazel, Emerald, and Mercury all learned that if Salem gets all the relics, it's game over for everyone, and that
any one of them could turn.
Yeah,
of that information.
Especially considering that Jin still has the one question, so if they wanted to validate it with her, they could.
Here's something that I did want to ask, and that's because this is something else that I think is kind of unforeseen. Is like, what do you think is going to be the exact fate of the bomb squad? because the bomb squad is going to go into the belly of the whale and ultimately fail. It's going to be a small victory, but an ultimate failure, because I don't think they're going to be able to just take down Salem from the inside like that. But I do think they are going to get out with Oscar.
Right.
However, will that cost a casualty that isn't Oscar?
Honestly,
that's hard to say.
Like, my prediction for how the bomb squad thing plays out is, I think it's probably going to be they build the bomb, and then they take the bomb inside the whale, and they detonate it, and it doesn't kill the whale because OP. Sorry about that.
OP.
And it would literally probably be the type of thing of like, they put it at like the back of the whale's throat and it destroys 20% of the mouth.
And
Sorry,
then
guys.
It regenerates just like
as if nothing happened.
Just like whatever Grimm we saw that was taking over that human.
Exactly.
Now, that's also something to talk about. I think this is what I was going to mention before. It's crazy how the silver light banished the Grimm momentarily.
Yeah,
and that was like a Grimm possession.
Yeah,
is the best way to talk about what we saw.
And honestly, like I feel like that. I feel like that what the Hound is what Cinder is slowly becoming, because her Grimm, the amount of her that's Grimm is growing and growing slowly, and
that's a good assumption.
And I also think that it's a copy of what Salem herself is, but on a lower tier, because she was a human who dove into a Grimm pool. Like I think that Salem is giving them worse versions of her own Grimm tech.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's why Salem does care about the Silver Eyes, despite being immortal.
Although it doesn't... Why would she care about the Silver Eyes if her quest is to die?
Because I don't think it would kill her. I think it would kill the Grimm. And revert her to the way she was before she dove into the Grimm pool. Because she's immortal. Because she...
No, I'm not arguing with what you're saying. I'm trying...
You're processing.
I'm processing, and I'm trying to understand why she would hate that so much. Because she did hate her immortality before she dove into the Grimm pool.
I think because... I mean, it's pretty easy to think that her body changing from being a Grimm would have affected her mind, and that therefore it's like, I am Grimm, and therefore... If I'm going, it's like, yeah, my end game's to die, but if I'm going to exist, I want to be Grimm and have power. And if she was a human again, she wouldn't have dominion over the Grimm anymore either.
That makes sense. Okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah, the Hound and eventually Cinder being nerfed versions of, just like how, I mean, even the Maidens are technically nerfed versions of Salem as well. They're just nerfed versions of her human half.
Aren't they? No, they're nerfed versions of Oz.
Well,
but Oz actually sacrificed it.
Yeah, but what let me rephrase what I mean. Because it's one of those things where, like, because Salem had elemental magic of all the elements. Then her and Oz had the 4 kids who had the same powers. And the Maidens are those kids. And therefore, the elemental magic of the Maidens technically comes from Salem. Now, the reincarnation of the Maidens is definitely Oz. Mm-hmm. But, like, the fire, ice, lightning magic definitely comes from the fact that Salem is their original mother.
Okay. No, that's fair. No, you're right.
So it makes sense that she would want to weaponize both aspects of her past.
Yeah,
and I guess that is a lot of speculation for a reaction video, but that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, we're just doing what's natural, but it probably is time to call it. I don't know how long the video is.
Yeah. I just give me 1 second to make sure that
everything's finalized and there's nothing else that you want to stamp on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm good. So thank you very much for watching. And it's unfortunately not on screen right now, but this episode was indeed once again colored by Burning Tractor.
It's important.
Very important.